يقول المؤلف رحمه الله: فإن كانت المعصية بين العبد وبين الله تعالى لا تتعلق بحق آدم فلها ثلاثة شروط. We are talking about the chapter of Tawbah, as we mentioned last night. Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, he says, if there is a sin, a ma'siyah, a disobedience, which is between the slave and Allah, and it has no connection with any Adami, any person, then this tawbah has three conditions. ثلاثة شروط. أحدها أن يقلع عن المعصية. Number one is that the person, he stops the sin. That the first condition of tawbah is that the person, he stops doing the sin. So there's no point to saying, Ya Allah, forgive me, but you still continue with the same sin. Right? If a person finds himself doing any form of disobedience to Allah Azza wa Jal, then the first condition before Allah can forgive him is he has to stop that sin. So a sin could be one of two things. It could be you are doing something haram. For example, somebody is invested with riba. He is dealing with riba. He cannot say, Ya Allah, forgive me for this riba, if his riba is continuing. Then this is not a form of tawbah. This is a false form of tawbah. He has to stop the sin. A sin can also be not fulfilling that which is fard, or that which is wajib. This is also considered as a sin. So somebody cannot say, Ya Allah, forgive me for not paying zakah, but he does not pay the zakah. Yani if you want the tawbah to be accepted, start to pay the zakah. Make up for the missed zakahs and say, Ya Allah, I've stopped, I'm back on track with regards to my zakah. Now you can ask for forgiveness, and so forth. So this is the first condition. The second is أن يندم على فعلها. The second is that the ta'ib, the one who is doing the repentance, he feels a sense of remorse, a sense of regret over his sin. Right? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in a hadith, regret is tawbah. Regret is the reality of the essence of tawbah. So again, if we are sinning and we say, Ya Allah, forgive us for the sins, even if we've stopped the sin. Let's say we've stopped a particular sin. So Ya Allah, forgive us, but deep down, we have no regret or remorse for what we've done. We've stopped it for other reasons. We've stopped the sin, we've moved away from that life for other reasons. But we still have pride. We still love to think about the sins that we did. We may even love to mention the sins that we did. Some people even boast about the sins that they did. This is not regret. This is not nadam. So an important point here is, nadam is tawbah. Regret, remorse. That is true tawbah. Thirdly, Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah says, أن يعزم أن لا يعود إليها أبدا. He makes a sincere effort, promise, not to return to the sin. He makes a sincere intention not to return to the sin. طيب, again, a false tawbah would be, I'm making tawbah for, let's say, looking at haram. Ya Allah, forgive me for watching these things which was haram. But knowingly, tomorrow I'm going to do it again. Or listening to haram. Ya Allah, forgive me for this. Or smoking something haram. Ya Allah, forgive me for this. Knowingly, I'm going to do it again the next day. This is not tawbah. This is a false form of tawbah. So these are the three that the author rahimahullah mentioned. Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah, he added two conditions. He said, the tawbah must be done in a time wherein it will be accepted. So this is of two types. Number one, it must be done before the day of Qiyamah. There is no tawbah once the hour starts. Tawbah comes to it in the door of tawbah is shut. Because of the hadith that says that tawbah does not stop until the sun rises from the west. So tawbah will be shut. At that point, there is no tawbah. Tawbah must be done before this. And for every individual, he must make tawbah before his soul starts to leave his body. Before he dies, he has to make tawbah. So the Shaykh, he's added another condition. For tawbah to be valid, it must be done within the valid times of tawbah, which is either before we die or before the hour starts. The fifth condition he mentioned is al-ikhlas, sincerity. That all of those conditions of tawbah we just mentioned must be done for the sake of Allah. I'm giving up the sin not because my father said I must give it up. I'm giving up the sin or not returning to a life of sin not because I want to attract a good wife. This is not ikhlas, this is the other reason. So even though the person's changed his life, he's given up the haram, but he's not doing it for the sake of Allah. So this is not tawbah. This is not sincere, correct tawbah. So the Sheikh's added another important condition, the fifth one, which is al-ikhlas. All of this is done to please Allah, to save ourselves in the year after. So these are the 5 conditions of tawbah. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us of the sincere ta'ibeen, the people who make tawbah to Him constantly. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.